Okay. So I finished all of the work around extracting the SDK and got the test passing in the CI. So the like a big final step before I can kind of lock things in and get it like working with the app again is working on like the plugin system. So say for example you create a script like this where it you use the simple function to bring in the Chrome functions. Right now, let me bring up my terminal. If I run this list Chrome tabs, you see it loads all of those, and that's because it loads in from the SDK inside of this simple directory. There's a file called commonjs. And this is in the ESM format. You can see the export. Now, another option I have here is to, instead of using this ESM format, I can make all of these globals. So if I delete the export let, and then inside of the, this is in the preload simple part of the SDK, if I find where the simple is. If this requires, I guess this doesn't need to be async anymore, from the SDK path, that syntax looks correct. Because now this should be able to be treated as commonjs, because there's no exports. And what that would allow me to do is to ditch this part. And I think this script would still work, assuming I did things right. I may need to make, let's see. I think I have to make in here, back here. May need to make that CJS. Let's try running that. So that works just fine, and that's what I'm trying to figure out between like the scripting mentality of, would you expect, I think people writing scripts expect to have globals. And because this is less, like it's less work, it's less typing, and it's just a single, I want the functions from Chrome, and now they're available. If you don't have this, then it's just gonna say, get tabs is not defined. You bring that in, then it works. So that's kind of like the choices between this syntax, where this would be an ESM module, or just ditching all of that and keeping those as CJS modules. I think, and I mean, you could even do, well, no, it's global. So that wouldn't work because it's not exporting anything now. They're just globals. And I think I kind of like this just because it's less, and it's more. I don't know if anyone in chat has been following too much along with the development of this, but it's kind of more in line with the idea of, you just want to create a script quickly. Like creating this script from scratch would be live Chrome tabs. Oh, looks like because I refactored that part in here, this broke some of the other stuff. I'd have to make all of those commonjs. So that's why my new didn't work. So I just kind of have to like land on that, and I'm like, 75% certain this is what I want. And it's just that I've been doing it the other way this entire time. You know, it's like that fear of commitment or whatever. But I think I'm going to go for it. I think I like this. So what that means is in each of the these simple like plugins, just going to come in here, and so in desktop, it's just really getting rid of these export lets and making all these globals. I'll need to come back to these. I may need to move some of these like lower down in the tree of dependencies. So I got just enough find in folder. And these can all be CJS. So it's kind of weird how, it's not weird, but like the SDK kind of uses CJS like for the preloads, because these are the things that load ahead of time. And then for the plugins, it's going to use commonjs. But the scripts themselves are going to use ESM and rely on imports. So let me see if this works now. So live Chrome tabs. Oh, yeah, I already made one called that. Another Chrome tabs. Let's see, that possible editors is not a function. So that'd be in this one that we refactored. Let's see. Oh, there's other places that use the simple function. This that's just wrong. So let's see. Yeah, this one no longer would export possible editors. Possible editors would just be a global here. So let's see. So max CJS would bring an editor. This is one of those things I need to think through. I think I just need to bring editor down kind of at the Mac level. Like the editors and the terminals are used just everywhere throughout this project, because everything's so like, it's, you know, a lot of it is code based as far as editing text and whatnot. So let's see if that's a global. Is that how I want to do that? You know what, I may just want to move the stuff from editor into the stuff in Mac. I think that feels a bit better to me. So that means down here in possible editors, and where was Mac editors? So before this was an export of I guess code, Vim, and Nano were the ones that were possible here. I'm trying to figure out some, like, I want to be accommodating to people who use different editors for this project. Code kind of has its own API for opening files. Vim and Nano require you to open the terminal and then pass in like a terminal. Let's see. Well, the terminal one's in its own script as well. Should probably bring that in as well. kind of a tough choice there. Do I want to bring in all of this into Mac? I think I'm backing out. So if you load an editor, I think I need to extract or break Mac into different pieces. Mac would definitely need AppleScript. This could be like in a text module. Let's see what that would look like. Text CJS. So get selected text could be over here. Oops. And set selected text could be there. File. Get path as picture. Like this could be a file CJS, something like that. Say, would say be like audio, voice? What would say be? Speak? Speech? Speech? Say speech. And preview, I'm going to put preview in file because that's essentially what it's doing. Notify is just, that's strictly desktop. We'll drop it there for now. Desktop is like the Windows stuff, or like window positioning. Let's see, and then edit and AppleScript. Those are good. Those are used a lot. File search should be in file. Add that there. Let's see. So now we have AppleScript and edit, and edit is using the editor, but the editor is a plugin, which seems weird since this is kind of like a preloaded file, and a preloaded file is loading in a plugin. That feels strange to me. Yeah, I think I need to bring in this stuff into the Mac. And then in here, possible editors is just a function defined above, and Mac editors down here is that code and Vim and Nano. That are defined up there. Let's bring those down. Alrighty, so Actually, I think I can bring in, would I want code to be a global function? I don't think so. I just want edit to be. So I can bring in all of these into here. And then these can all just exist, in the undo. Those can all just exist just in the scope of edit. I think I like that. I'm gonna bring possible editors in there too. Edit's just gonna be a big old function. I think that's how that's gonna work. And I'm kind of fine with that. It's a function that's used a lot, and like there's just a lot of variables to it. I think I'll need to bring in the terminal stuff as well into the terminal function. And a lot of the reason I try and avoid, I like stuff inside of some functions is so that it's not like polluting other things, and the functions aren't run, and the things in here aren't loaded unless the function is called. Yeah, it's very core to what Simple Scripts is about, where you have the editor and like the terminal's only for people using Vim and Nano. But I'm gonna have to bring that stuff in as well. So terminal, and then Mac, and then terminal editors. This stuff will live right here. And then this can be possible terminals. Thanks. So terminal iterm. I'm curious if there's like other terminals I'm unaware of. I know Hyper exists, and I haven't like written anything to support that, so I'm not sure what that would be. So you can get rid of that because we're no longer loading in the terminal plugin. Then Mac terminals right now can just be terminal and iterm. Do I need this? I guess it looks to see if iterm's installed. I remember doing that. Alrighty. That means I could get rid of editor, I could get rid of terminal. And then these, now it's still only, I guess terminal editor's not global. I'd be curious if people would want in their scripts, if they'd want like a function to launch their terminal with a command. That's essentially what this is. That seems like something people would want. So maybe I'll leave these as maybe I'll extract those. So let's see. Iterm terminal. Let's see. I didn't cut that out right. This would be all the way down to there. what would you call that? Just term, maybe? Or term could be the, let's see. I'm not going to focus on that too much right now. Let's keep this moving along. All right, I think I should be able to make a script now. Can I access possible editors? That would be in this file. Possible editors. So let's bring this up. Whoops. Selected way too much. Alrighty, and another Chrome tabs demo. Okay, so that's working. And then simple Chrome, and you could literally console log await get tabs. And then I could run another Chrome tabs demo. Is that, oh, I misspelled Chrome. Another Chrome tabs demo. And like, to me, like, this is a simple script. And then I could like filter by, you know, URL contains Stack Overflow or whatever. Do whatever I want with that tabs data. That feels good to me. Let me try like new testing text. And so this would be simple text and get selected text. This would be like selected and then log selected. Oh, this might be one of those. I think I can only run this one from the app. Like most scripts you can run from the terminal, but some of these, just because of the nature of having something selected and running a command. We'll see if this works. I'll select this and try and type in testing. Yeah, it lost focus. So I can try and select that. Oh, okay, that did work. It somehow knew that that was selected, even though it lost focus. Does this need to trim? Looks like that's giving me an extra line. That does need to trim. Let's see. Get selected text. That's this one. Get the clipboard. Let's do it like this. And then selected. Learn how to type, selected text, trim. That way I don't have to call that here. I wonder if I can have this selected and then come over here from the terminal and run that. Why did that think? Oh, that's probably still in the clipboard. Interesting. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's still working. Good. So I'm gonna just test a few more of these out from the SDK. So there's Chrome, we did get tabs. There's focus tab. I'm going to try notify. I don't think it'll come up because, whoops, because like when you're streaming, it disables notifications. And it'd probably show up on another monitor anyway, but it would look like desktop and then notify hello. And then running that, unexpected token export. Desktop must have export somewhere. Yep, there it is. Any others? Yep. Export. I didn't delete any of these. Okay, I think that's all of them. So export. All right, try that again. Yeah, there's a notification. I can't, like, it's on my monitor, my main monitor. I don't know. I probably couldn't bring that to my main screen in any way. Hey, Horatio, thanks for subscribing. I don't really have subscribe notifications on, but I see it down on my dashboard down there, so appreciate that. Alrighty, so that's I think that works for me. I think this feels better to me than this. You'd even have to await. Like, this feels simpler, and I like that's kind of the idea is you want to, when you have an idea for a script, you want to get in, you want to write that script, you want to get out. Like, and it's usually like 99% of the time copying someone else's script and tweaking something anyway. So let's go test some other ones. Get selected file. Okay. New testing file. And then this would be simple file and get selected file. I think this just logs out the file path, and then you could do something with this, whether it's uploading it or whatever. So let me see if this will work. So if I like select this in Finder, and I jump over to my terminal, and I just do testing file. Yeah, so that gave me the full path to that file. Looks like I should trim that as well. I think all of the AppleScript output should be probably trimmed. What if I can do that at the base? I have quite a few AppleScript functions. Some of them return JSON. But trimming JSON shouldn't matter, so I think I can just get away with that. Try it again. Yeah, that works. I like the idea here for get selected file is you can select a file in Finder, you know, whether it's an image you want to upload or whatever. And once that's selected, then, you know, it's part of a script and you can do whatever you want with it. Because, you know, you could post it somewhere, or you could use some sort of NPM library to format it, or any of those things. Alrighty, speech. I'm curious what other things I could get away with speech-wise. Actually, I'm curious if this will come across on the stream. I'm not sure if I have that hooked up. Let's do testing speech. Or, sorry. New testing speech. Then we can bring in the speech plugin. say hello, and run testing speech.
Hello.
I think that comes across.
Hello.
Yeah. Let's see. Can't remember what all the voices are. This is the way, like, you can see what all the voices are you can use with that command. It's say -v, and then it's put in a question mark. So let's try Sarah and, is it Samantha voice? Oh, no, it's Sarah and Samantha. I tried to make it so you could pass in some options. So, was it voice?
Hello.
Hello. And Samantha. I'm curious how quickly this would fire off. Alex.
Hello. How?
R.
Oh.
I didn't quite. I wonder if I can, like, I'm just gonna try this for the kicks. Hello, how are you doing today? And then split on spaces, and then for each word, I think say is a promise. Yeah. Say word, and then let's like alternate. What's that? Odd even. Let voice. Is it modulus 2? Is it modulus 1 equals 0? Then it's even. Like, I think this is the one that toggles between every other one, right? Alex or Samantha. Unexpected reserved word. What word would I? Oh, async.
Hello.
How?
R.
You.
Doing.
Today?
That. I thought those might run a little bit faster, but I guess that's about as fast as you can get them to go. I mean, there's the rate, but I don't think making that go any faster is going to.
Hello.
How?
R.
You.
Doing. Hello.
How?
R.
You.
Doing.
Today?
Today. Anywho. So speech works. Let's see. And let's check out what else we got. So Playwright's one I haven't tried in a long, long time. This is one of those where, so Playwright's a, you can use it for web scraping. So, hello, I tried to set it up so that you just had a select function where you could pass in a URL and a selector and get everything. Life is good. How is your life? Let's test that out. New testing scraper. This is one of those things I haven't touched in such a long time. I kind of doubt that it'll work. It should prompt me to install Playwright, for one. That's good to hear. And then let's try from Google, select all the header 2s or something like that. Whoops. H2s. I doubt this will work, but we'll see what happens. I keep on, let's see. Async functions. Oh yeah, I'm using a wait right there in this script. Let's see, what would I do for that? I guess I could put that all in a function. And could select be global if it waited for all of those to show up. Yeah, big ol' iffy. Yeah, so wrapping that all in an iffy and then like this style, so wrap, 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 boom, boom. And if that, so that will run, and then I guess since it's essentially requiring it, then this should be in scope as a global after. I'm not going to export any of these anymore, though. Yeah, await in JavaScript is a keyword that works with promises. And promises are an interface that use a dot then at the end of a function, and it's a way of making callbacks look flatter. That's a terrible explanation of it, but promises are kind of a pain to explain. The general idea is people like to write flat, like kind of line by line code, rather than JavaScript is known for nesting callbacks. And when people saw you could write flat code, they got really happy for whatever reason. So let's see, I think I'm going to need access to all of these though. So let's do browser. It's going to look kind of ugly. Just kind of want to get it working and then maybe make it look better. So select use Chromium. No, okay. So we'll try that out. Cannot read property goto of undefined. Page goto. So that's not, oh yeah, because, that's right. This isn't halting because there's no await at the top level. It's trying to evaluate this before this is done. That's... I'm curious what the, like this has been sitting in ESM for so long, it's weird to like move it back and thinking the commonjs format. So, like, I don't want to move all of this inside of the select, although that would work. And it is the only function in there right now. Actually, what I could do is so I'll show you what a promise looks like, because I can do a new promise here, and then you can await promises. Promises take a resolve and a reject. And inside of here, like, you can do asynchronous logic and then call resolve. So if I have a promise up here, call this like setup Playwright, and then bring all of this in here, and then I can resolve with the browser, the context, and the page. And I don't need to export any of these. I guess I can write an async function inside of a promise. I'm not sure I've done that before. And then I can await setup Playwright, and this would respond with the browser, the context, and the page. That's not too bad. Like, I just have to, any of the helper function I set up, I'd have to do that. Let's make sure that even works. Setup Playwright is not a function. Oh, that's true. It's a new promise. All right, so the npm function asks you if you want to install the package. So you can see, like, it's automatically prompting me to install Playwright. Debug is one of those that has, like, I should just bundle debug with simple, because if you try and, like, lazily install Playwright or lazily install Express, all of them want debug, but they don't, like, have it listed in dependencies. I think if I run this again, maybe there's no H2s on google.com. Let's try Stack Overflow. Let's see. Query selector, H2. I guess there's just one. There's a bunch of H3s, 99 H3s. We'll try that. Down here to testing scraper. Let's grab H2. We'll make that H3 and make this one H3 and make this one H3 and all right, so it grabbed all of the, I think this is like the inner text content of the H3s it could find. That seems like a lot less than we found. let me look at the Playwright again. So it goes to the URL, it evaluates query selector all, and it grabs the inner text. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Await does kind of feel like it's halting the script at that point so that it does all that logic and then it moves on to the next thing. Yeah, I don't know what like true code blocking would be defined as. I'd have to like look at, like for the purposes I've used it for, it does stop the code at the line I have the await on, and then doesn't continue until that's done. And I think that's like what most people, it behaves as most people would expect at least. Alrighty, so I guess this is how, like if people are going to write their own plugins, like this is the other end of it. If people start writing plugins for other NPM libraries or other applications, I'd be asking them to write in CJS if I use this syntax rather than this syntax, which is fine. Like, it's one of those things I'm just, yeah, it's just so hard to decide. Like this just looks a lot simpler. It almost feels like metadata at the top rather than a function and like a plugin name. This is one of those things that like kind of keeps me up at night, is just thinking about this, which format should I use for these plugins? Like I wonder if I could almost support both. Yeah, so if you consider in the SDK, or like maybe in the future, like on NPM, that people are writing like a Chrome simple plugin, which is essentially just functions wrapped around things you could do in the app. So far these had all been ESM. ESM would require that where's that scraper? ESM would require that I use something like this. Whereas with CJS, I can just add things to the global namespace. Although there might be a way around, I don't know. It's another one of those like mindsets of, do people expect when they're writing scripts to just have global functions, or do they expect to like load libraries? And because this is definitely different than, yeah, this is inconsistent with the npm function, which behaves by loading stuff from, like installing or loading things from npm. So that's a pretty strong argument for keeping it ESM. Just like straight up consistency. Yeah, maybe I'll go back to ESM. Thinking. I really like the consistency of this with NPM. I think that feels right. Because NPM has to be that way. Like, you're not going to add things on the global namespace from NPM. Nobody writes their libraries that way. So I think even though it might make it simpler to use CJS and add to the global namespace, I think that might add more confusion. Whereas, like, it's an established pattern to export things in ESM. All right, we'll just do it. Established pattern. I just convinced myself to bring these back to what they were. So back in the SDK. The SDK is all just like the initial setup script is just installing Node, but then the rest of it is using, like, the core concept of simple scripts can be kind of contained in this simple bash script, where it defines where Node is, where the Node path is, like where the preload folder is, and then it passes these environment variables, calls Node, and runs a script you pass at it or toss at it. So like these setup scripts, even though like simple hasn't been installed yet, I can use like this wrapper to invoke this to like simple can install itself essentially, and simple can test itself, because all, like, I'd say all it really is this concept of writing a script runner that has these things defined, but then there's, you know, a lot of helpers and a lot of like the app and all those things around it, but this is like the heart of it. And you can see that by like these generated files. So if you look at like the testing scraper, this is very, very similar to this one. So these are like, if you're unfamiliar with writing bash scripts to API CJS contains the helper functions. Yeah, I tried to make API CJS. So this one has like the most common of common things I'd expect people to use. Read, write file, list, and like this is shell.js and like the FS promises and like get, put, post, and patch. These are the most common of common things I'd expect people to use. And then the like args is inside of simple itself, or the simple CJS. And this is where, wherever args is, the lazy arg stuff. Oh yeah. So yeah, simple has like loading the scripts and loading stuff from the SDK and like importing and those sorts of things, environment variables. But then when you get into the args, it has to be two separate files, one for, doesn't have to be, but this way I did it. One when you're running it from the terminal, one when you're running it from the app. Because like the way that args work in the terminal are a little bit different than the way they work in the app. And, you know, they may have sort of come together a bit more than when I originally wrote them. Like there's a lot more terminal messaging, whereas arg, it's pretty close actually. There's this. I mean, I may need to take another look at whether I truly need to separate app and the terminal. TTY just stands for like is it terminal text? It just stands for text in, text out. I can't remember what the real acronym stands for. These are pretty close, though. I was doing a lot of things around, like npm uses chalk when you're in the terminal for like code hints or hints on what it's doing, whereas in the app it uses like some messages it can send back to the app itself. I could probably align these a bit more, though. I'll keep that in the back of my mind. And I'm ditching these too. Just remembering that. For 1.0, I'm getting rid of the show stuff. I wrote something called inspect, which I think handles those scenarios where if I, let's see, go back to the scraper, instead of console logging this, if I want to inspect it, oh yeah, this is simple. So once this is done, this will fire open the editor, like it creates this temporary JSON file with the results, so that you could much more easily like manipulate the data or copy and paste it or look into it or whatever. And I thought this was much more valuable than like popping open a browser window with data in it. And these will live underneath like temp scripts, the script you ran, and then the output of it based on the date. So you can have like a little history of the scripts you ran to compare their like diff them and stuff, which I think will be good. Yeah, I got to move these back to ESM. I think a lot of it will just be reverting. Yeah, I think it's just straight up reverting these. Well, maybe not on all of them. Yeah, let's not do that. Close all these. Go in here and I do want to go back into this. Very simple to find. Can I just undo this? So this looks like that. Loading something from the SDK. And then these will be fairly straightforward. Just a matter of here. I wonder if the outline view would help out here. Like here, export let, and here, export let. Yeah, Shell.js is great. Yeah, it's a really cool project, and I'm glad someone put it together as far as like the cross-platform shell library. And it was one of those things like when writing simple scripts, like I definitely just have to toss this in there. That way, even if someone's more familiar with writing bash scripts, they can just come in and use all the shell stuff that they're used to. All right, this one should be done. Here, let me see if I can. let's see, can I, will it collapsing? Here we go. This will work better. This way, if I collapse these, I can multi-cursor on these. Export that. Easy peasy. File, collapse, 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 collapse. And you are done. Playwright. Oh, this one's a lot of undoing. That should be good. And speech. This one's easy enough. Export let. And text. That's just these two. Alrighty. So I'm going to go back through some of my scripts. So this one would now be get tabs. Oh wait, it's get tabs. And this is also a wait. And that one's another Chrome tabs demo. Another Chrome tabs demo. Yeah, that worked fine. And this is where like, this is where I think the inspect is really cool. Because when it's done, it just pops open this and you can play around with the results and like prepare it for the next step in your script. Like you can mess with the data in here much easier than in a console log or in like in a browser window or whatever. All right, so that's back to working. And let's see. This Chrome tabs, we did that one. Testing file, let's try that one. This is get selected file. And let's make sure I have a file selected. We'll select this one and call this testing file. All right, so I got that link. It's perfect. Yeah, it looks like everything's working just great. Let's try the scraper. See if that just works first try. I think this one's just select. Yep. Testing scraper. Select is not defined. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, that's how easy web scraping can be with simple. Is you just drop in a simple Playwright, give it a URL and the selector you want to grab. Just drop div in there, run that again, and now we have all the inner text of all the divs from like the Stack Overflow main page. And now we're web scraping. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's try speech. This one say hi. Testing speech.
Hi.
Hi, that worked great. Get selected text. We'll try this one. And get selected text. And let's select this. Sometimes this can have a weird behavior from the, oh, I'm not doing anything with this selected. We'll inspect, I'll just log selected. Try selecting that. Perfect. Alrighty. I think that looks pretty solid. I'm willing to push this stuff up now. I know I have a couple scripts on. I think I have a couple here that use show that I'll have to take out. Yeah. I'll definitely have to refactor those to use either inspect or just console log or something. But that is not a big deal at all. All right, so I think I'm gonna commit and push these. I moved all of terminal into Mac. All of editor into Mac. So Mac has a lot more now. But that's fine. Excuse me, that's fine. Refactoring, simple plugin setup. It's fun working in master while like you're not in a 1.0. Well, I guess I'm on a SDK branch. I can show this off while it's running. So how simple tests itself. There's a GitHub action which, if you look at if you look in the SDK under the GitHub workflows, you'll see this test YAML, and it'll clone the repo. It'll check out to the current branch, the SDK branch, install node, install the packages. I just want to make sure that that got set up correctly. And then it starts running through the commands to set up a simple directory. And it creates a few like test scripts. So this is like a test template, uses the test template, and like tests out adding a script and removing a script. So in the CI, before I can merge anything from a branch at least, it has to go through these like test scripts that run commands of new and remove, like creating a test script and removing it using the CLI itself. I'm trying to figure out what I can do as far as testing, like having the CI run on a Mac where it could test like this scaled windows to the left and the right side, or this spoke the word hello after you use the say command. Like some of these I'm just gonna have to almost trust that they work, or find some new way of testing things on a desktop, because I'm not familiar with how to write a test suite around that sort of stuff. But if it's like straight up creating a script, running a script that has, you know, that does a get or a some like the basic terminal based commands, I can test those things. It's when it starts interacting with the OS that things get a bit complicated. Alrighty. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, why don't I just open this. It's always kind of weird when, like, I'm getting more and more used to using the Simple Scripts app. But since I'm like working on it right now, I can't have it open because I'm refactoring things and it wouldn't run. So I'm doing a lot of things manually that like I have scripts for. So it's just kind of funny to think about. Collapse all. This is like in the public directory. Scripts, John Lundquist. Find in folder, show. Let's do inspect here. Let's do console log for that one. Let's do console log for that one. Let's do console log for, oops. Where's my console log generator? That failed. Alrighty. I think there's a show markdown that I was using as well. I think these can all be inspect. Yeah, these are like bigger ones. Let's see. Yeah, this one's probably console log. It's just showing a. Yeah. Oh, I need to check those for transparent true frame false. Forgot about that part of show. I will use inspect. Not a big deal. Transparent frame. Yeah, I don't think any of these others use that. Book search, show markdown. That's definitely inspect. Actually want to try this one. New book search. And book search. Star Wars. Oh, that just yeah, let me refactor inspect a bit. Because right now that looks like a JSON stringified that. That's not quite what I wanted on that. Let's see, inspect data. Let's do like an if type of data is object, then this. Formatted data. So let's have it like default to data, but if it's an object, then stringify it. But also the I wonder if I could give it like a if I have it show markdown, I'd want it to create the file with a .md at the end. Let's do like this extension. And then the temporal path. Let's see. I guess it would default to a .text file. So if the data is an object, then this would be a JSON file. There's some repetition going on here. We might want to wrap this in a function. If extension something like this here, extension. That way you could do like HTML or Markdown if it's just a string. I could definitely write this a little bit better, but let's just try this for now. Let's do Star Trek. I thought I put in, did I not put an MD? I did put an MD. But that came through as a text file because so it makes the directory why did it not? Inside extension. Still made a text file. I didn't want a text file, I want a markdown file. Oh, let, that's why. I'm not reassigning it. Open your eyes, John. I don't know if this is enough to make a function out of it. Like the scenarios are, if you pass in an object, I want to stringify it. And if you give an extension, I want to change the extension. I think that's it. Like the defaults are a raw string to a text file. It's an object. Then you stringify it to a JSON file. If you pass an extension. I can't think of a scenario where you'd want to do JSON to a file extension other than .json. All right, this one should do Markdown. Harry Potter. All right, now we got Markdown. All right. Allowing extensions and inspect. And that means that inside of here, I can do this. And book search, data muse. This should just do a JSON file. Let's try it. New data muse test. Paste that there. Data muse test. Let's do multiple. Give me some synonyms. Oh, this one is doing HTML. I don't know why you'd want to do HTML there, but another word, find. Give me rhymes with find. Oh, there we go. Like I said, oh yeah, it works fine. But we want to go over here to here and change that up. So this one's Markdown, also Markdown. That one's HTML. That one's just showing some info, showing info, showing info. Okay. Updating scripts to use inspect instead of show. So this way on this site, where'd my browser go? There it is. Like now all of these will just kind of magically update to be using inspect within a few, like in under a minute or so. So people, when people click install, they can have those ready. So I think I'm at the point where I need to get everything. I'm going to merge SDK into main and then work on the app so that the app uses the new SDK format. So I think for the remainder of the night, if anyone tries to install the app, it'll be broken, but that's fine. Since it definitely says beta on it. So in here, let's just make sure the tests are still passing. I need to figure out how to delete all of these. I saw there's like some way to use the GitHub API to do this. But not too concerned about it right now. Where's the, okay, so things are passing. All right, let's go ahead and do it. A lot of work over the past few days. Go ahead and merge that in. Oop. And now we can switch over to the app. So let's do, oops. App, that's over here. So when you start up the app, what I'm going to do is remove all my simple. I'm gonna move the simple SDK to like simple SDK backup or something. That way the simple SDK shouldn't be there. And now this has to, the app goes through the process of installing the simple SDK. Like it literally does a git clone behind the scenes. Let's focus up here on main. If you look for git, so it's simple scripts, simple path. All right. So that, like the way it works right now, you can, if you're installing from the command line and you're just going to use simple scripts like as from the terminal and not worry about the app, you can essentially put simple wherever you want and even have like multiple instances of it. But if you're going to use the app, right now I have it hard coded to a .simple directory, meaning that like there'll be a .simple SDK directory and a .simple directory, and like most people aren't going to know or care about like defining where those go. I'm just trying to think ahead to the future of, because you could use simple scripts on a server, you could use it like in any way you want, as far as when I initially was starting to plan it, it would worked on Windows and Linux and everything. So allowing people to configure the path was important to me. But also like when just downloading the app, it's just going to, like I'm not gonna like put up a prompt, where do you want to install the SDK to? I'm just gonna just put it in a .simple directory. So this is going to work a little bit differently now, where this is going to clone simple scripts to not simple path, but to the simple SDK. And the simple SDK will now be this. And that means this will need a clone here. Okay, that looks fine. And then after it clones, so this is the SDK, it clones to that .simple SDK directory. It needs to install node into, so this is now in setup, install node, prefix node. We need to make sure we're in the right directory. So install node args. So this is the command here. I need to make sure I'm in the right directory. So this might, it'd be really fun to get this all right the first time, and when I just launch the app, it works. I just strongly doubt that's going to happen, though. So the working directory is going to be simple SDK. And the path needs to make sure it's targeting the node install that's in the SDK. That's what this is doing right here. It's setting the environment variable path. It's putting simple's node, or just the node that we're downloading, before any other nodes you have on your system. But that's only doing it for simple. Like, you don't have to worry about this conflicting with anything else, because it's just for these commands. This has no impact on the way that you use node on your system. All right, so git clone to the simple scripts SDK, git args, install node, set up install node. Git result, install node. Okay. This uses the same options. And the options are, again, the working directory is a simple SDK, which is right. Okay, that all looks right. That prefix looks right. Okay, so at this point, I removed the bash scripts, and these are now written in simple scripts itself. So we're in the simple SDK, and these look like you would pass in a simple path variable, which I need to do here. Let me find one that I know works. So it's essentially, it's almost this. All right, so I'm going to add to my environment. Oh, simple path's already there. Make sure simple SDK is there as well. And path is there. That's good, good, good. That means I can run this command, or spawn this command, I guess, from here. And this one is just set up. I guess this has to go into an argument here. Spawn, it like takes the initial command, and then it needs to be an array of arguments. So this simple script is like a wrapper which can run scripts without simple really being installed. And setup should get it to the point where it's up and running. Like, I don't need to do this one anymore. Going to rename this to setup result, and let me make sure I have all of this. Step 1, clone repo. I'm using a template for this Electron app, and it's got really aggressive linting rules, which I'm fine with. It's just funny fighting against linting rules all the time. Step 2, install node into simple SDK node. Step 3, install or npm install packages into simple SDK node modules. Step 4, use simple sh wrapper to run setup.js script. And then that should be ready. I'm not a betting man, and I'm not going to bet that this is going to work first try. But I would like my terminal to come back. All right, yarn start. Let's see what happens. Product is running. It takes a while to launch. I've been wondering what sort of things I could do to speed it up, but I really don't. Yeah, why? That didn't print out any information. Simple. Close all. Well, oh, that's why that exists. Simple SDK. Okay, so it didn't even clone it. So yeah, that failed pretty miserably. What may have happened is that the log info is, I've instructed that to write its logs to the .simple directory so that you can just like open them up, and it may have created this simple path before it even got to this part, so like none of this ran. So I'm going to swap this out for the simple SDK. And see how that goes. Oh, there we go. See, now it's cloning. Show the result. It's grabbing node. 15.10 now. Okay. Okay, so it installed node. Something failed. Where did it fail? Failed here. Oh, whoops. My bad. So simple SDK, I think cloned correctly. Yeah, everything's in there. Yeah, so those are created from the app. So I'm gonna, I know what I did. That was right. here, I am in the simple SDK. This should have been setup. No, simple is at the root. And then this, like my current directory is the SDK, and the simple.sh is at the root of the SDK. And setup.js is, let me like triple check that. See, I deleted all that stuff, so let's check it over here. So there's the root, and there's setup.js, yeah. Okay, grabbing node again. So this failed again. Let me try this. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that this might be creating that simple directory before I'm even there. So I'm going to go into the simple SDK. Then the command it's trying to run is simple path is simple. And then, well, I guess I'd have to do it like this, huh? Simple sh and setup.js. Yeah, file already exists. That's interesting. I didn't really think about how those logs are being created even before the directory's there. Maybe I can delay the logs. Log transports file. Let's do this. Alrighty, so this would mean, well, let's just put this at the top of ready. That way I don't think it'll create, that. All right, let's try that again. Remove simple SDK, remove simple, and clear everything out. Yarn start. So it cloned it. It's grabbing node. It's this next step where it's failed a couple times. File already exists. somewhere. Somewhere that path is getting created. Oh, the cache as well. Maybe that's what. I have to wait to create the cache until that's installed. Let me see, where did I create the cache? Simple. Import cache from cache. Good old asynchronous stuff and timings and installs and setups and all that. Because I'm importing this file and this file imports this file and this file creates a cache. I guess I'll have to do this in the onReady as well. But how would I want to do that though? I have to do a get cache and create cache. Let's see. Are the only references to this in simple? So it's in shortcuts because I want to clear the cache if the shortcuts change. And it's in simple. So this could be a, I guess I'll have to do a get cache. Like cache is null. Export const get cache. And this is, well, I guess you might be able to infer the type. Create cache. That clears the cache every time it runs. Alrighty, has any type. Can this be store or null? Alrighty, then in shortcuts, this will be get cache. Did that import? Object is possibly null. I know that. And also in, yep, and then here, get cache. Object is possibly null. clear. I mean, to come back and look at, I need to give the cache a deep think anyway. Alrighty, I think that cleared things up. Are there any cache dots anywhere to be found? Here's that cache clear. There's a prompt cache. Oh yeah, the prompt cache. That's created the first time prompt is referenced and prompt is referenced. Is that referenced in simple as well? We have to do the same thing. Awesome. Really tempted just to use proxies or something. I don't think I've used proxies with TypeScript yet, but I am tempted. Alrighty. So where's that being imported from? Oh, from prompt itself. Alrighty. So I guess that could be created in here. Let's just follow that same pattern. Get prompt cache, return prompt cache, and oops. Move all of this down into here, and this is now like so, and this is like so, string, store, and now anywhere that said prompt cache, except for in here. I guess it's just in here. And that was only to be able to clear it if you get a clear cache signal from a script. Interesting. Does that mean it doesn't exist on store? This just means the app is starting up. Like I don't want to, when you restart the app, I want all the caches to clear. For now, at least. They help, the cache helps a little bit, but it's not too much. But why isn't clear does not exist on Electron store? Oh, it's because I'm not invoking the function, that's why. Alrighty, so now in here where I'm going to import, well, let's see how well this can help me. Ready? Let's just create a function called create caches. Create cache. Create prompt cache. Oops, create caches. Oops, create logs. I can go there and I don't think these have anything asynchronous in them. Alrighty. So assuming I have any idea what I'm doing, which isn't usually the case, and fire this off now. Now it shouldn't create the simple directory until after ready fires, and ready doesn't fire until it has tried to install the simple SDK, because there's ready down there, and all the stuff should run before ready if, let's rename this to SDK exists. And try that. Okay, so cloned. It's downloading Node. And looks like a good result that time. Okay, so I think this worked. Let's check simple. Yeah, all this stuff looks like it's working. There's the log. Here's the error that it got. Perfect. To write any script, I don't know what sort of caveats you would expect. The project itself is for writing any type of script, whether it's managing Windows on the system, and that's where, because JavaScript or Node can run AppleScript or any other tools in your system, it can be like a wrapper around those scripts. So regardless of what tool you need to use, or whether it's a command line tool or anything, you can invoke those other tools from JavaScript. So I haven't found anything I couldn't do that that I wanted to do. All right, so I know where this error is coming from. That's because of the SDK change. And that's going to be in the, let's tear this down, go into the simple file. And there's some cool benefits around Hey, no problem. There's cool benefits around, like the app is using Node and the scripts project is both using Node, and they can easily set up what's called IPC, or inter-process communication, I think. No, inter-process channels, where they can send data back and forth between each other really easily. So that lets my scripts tell this app that I've been building. It can send things like clear cache to the app, or like get info from the app, so it can get like the current screen that the cursor's on, get the mouse position, and I can do that from a script because, again, the app and the script can talk to each other. And things like this, like getting the mouse position from a script, is usually like, I couldn't really find a way to do that in AppleScript or any other like command line tool, but because this app exists that I'm building, like they can communicate and share all this extra information that's available inside of this app, which has been pretty nice. I'm gonna need to find in here. No, this is gonna be like the, I think in the fork. So I'm going to need to set up SDK path because these are all in the SDK. So let's go in here. Let's do something like this and like this. SDK path is simple SDK. SDK path, SDK path. That should be fairly solid. That way, if I bring in SDK path, whoops, that is not the right thing. SDK path there, and then all of these need to be the SDK path. I'm gonna make sure that this is passed in as well. Oops. This is the SDK path to node modules. Well, it's actually, now this one lives like this. Colon separated list of node modules paths, where it looks in like the local one first, and then it'll check the SDK. Well, should it check the SDK first and then the local? We'll do local then SDK. This lives in simple. This is SDK path. Alrighty. I think that should be, like, the majority of the work around extracting the SDK is just this main command. Like, this is the command that runs the script. And so now the SDK lives in a different place than like your kind of local path to where you're writing your own scripts. Let's see where we're at with that. Oh. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Pretty cool if I could get this working before I head out. Oh, what'd I do? Log is not defined. Boop. Whoa, what'd I do here? I accidentally like copy and paste something? I guess so. Because this should be in create log. No, this is in main, not main dev, and then create logs. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Alrighty. And once this says something compiled, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. There it goes. Compiled successfully. Let's see what error we get this time. Hey, it actually worked. Let's try creating a new script. And we'll call it Yay, my app works. I want to use code. So that launched my simple directory. And here I can say, I want to use simple to bring in the speech and say that I want say, and I want to say, hooray. And now I can run my Yay My App Work script. And did that fail? Well, that was so close to just a uncaught section. Error message is not defined. Is that in here? No. Oh, so that failed to import. Let's see, here's my logs. Yeah, this is the simple path should be referencing the SDK to grab the, so the SDK is in here. Simple should grab speech. And it looks like that is failing. Does that fail in the terminal? Let's see. Yay, my app works.
Hooray.
Hooray. Perfect.
Hooray.
But there's something in the app that, okay. Interesting. So something in the app about the path isn't loading the correct, like those plugins. So all this stuff worked. Let's see, why would this work in the terminal but not in the app? Is there something in this? No, because the simple function's pretty basic. Makes the SDK path, and that uses the SDK. environment variable. You know what? I think that's because of... I bet you if I were to log out simple SDK, because in here I haven't defined a simple SDK. I defined SDK path, and that's not what it's called. Like if I were to run this, oh, it's just straight up failing now. Yeah, simple SDK is not defined. All right, so I think that was why that script didn't work. Because of I needed to pass in the environment variables, and I misnamed that one. Like when you run it from the terminal, there is this, which has all that stuff defined. So you can see the SDKs right here. And when you're running it from the app, you like pass these in manually. Well, it should be loading that from the .env config. Now that I think about it. Like this should load in. That .env file. But maybe because I'm overriding this. Because this overrides all the environment variables that are passed in. So I maybe when I do this, it's interfering with the .env config. Simple SDK is not defined. That's still failing. Error message is not defined. Okay, so let me think through that flow here. Let's see. So app left click is working fine, because that's what brings this up. And that from the SDK runs CLI run, and ask which script you want to run. It gets all of the scripts. You select a script. Let me see what this says. So in the console log, pass in yay my app works. And then the script function, which should just be able to run scripts, is defined here. Pass in the name. And then it's going to attempt to import simple script path. And if I check the log again, does it not get to that point? All right, I'm going to split on console log, put that over there. screen that and go back to run. So it shows the script, and then in, oops, then in here, I mean, that name's going to be the same thing. Guess we can log out the args. Just curious how far that gets. Huh. Why isn't that? Because it's definitely getting to attempt import. Because that's the only place in the entire thing where error message could be undefined. What I can do when this happens, so if I had a shortcut to this, I can run it more like directly. Alt plus Y, meaning that, because right now it's like going through a nested series of running scripts where it runs the left click, then it runs the run script, and then it runs this script. Right now if I do Alt Y.
Who or a?
Okay, so that works.
Who or a?
If I just hit Alt Y, it's somewhere in this loading process. It's like this script. So if I try and use it as a script runner, it's message on error, right? Script is not a function. Script is a global function loaded by simple CJS. And the app should know that. Because it should require it right here. Simple JS.
Who or a?
Totally works. Script is defined in simple JS, which is loaded right here. And let's just close these ones. And where'd that go? Because this window got shut. Oh, it was on a different screen. I forgot I full screened it. Simple's right there. I can see it. I can see it's a function. And in run, oh, that's why. Because I'm using it as a function, but that I'm overriding it right there. Maybe I need to rename script. So this should work.
Who or a? Who or a?
Hooray! Let's try this again. Thanks for hanging out. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for hanging. See you tomorrow.
Sweet. Okay, I think it's to a point where I'm gonna run a few more tests tonight, like before I check this in and like do another build. But I think it's to the point where the new SDK and the app work together, so I can be happy with that. Definitely have to run it through the ringer as far as tests go, but thanks for hanging out, and I'll be back on tomorrow. Be excellent to each other.